All right, let's dive into a story called Matir Maya, which translates to daughter of the soil. And it asks a really tough question, What does freedom really mean? Especially when the cages we find ourselves in are built by the very people we're supposed to love and trust. It's a heavy one, so let's get right into it. So the whole story kicks off with this really haunting exchange. You've got a free bird, a forest bird, telling a caged bird to sing the song of the forest. And the caged bird's response? How can I? It's just heartbreaking. And this isn't just some poetic opening, folks. This is the absolute core of our main character's struggle. It's a question that's going to follow her, echoing through everything that happens next.
Okay, so let's meet our protagonist. Her name is Paki. She's this incredibly talented young writer from a small village, and her dreams are just huge, as big as the sky. And get this, her name, Paki, actually means bird. Kinda perfect, right? And the person who's always encouraging her to spread her wings and fly? That's her father.
And her father, he doesn't just support her. He's like the architect of her dreams. He truly believes in her, sees her potential, and tells her, "You're going to be great one day." This relationship, it's everything to her. It's the foundation of her entire world. And that world is about to be completely, utterly shattered.
And yeah, this is the turning point. This is where everything changes. What happens next isn't just a bad day. It's a terrifying, rapid spiral from a beautiful dream straight into a living nightmare. A series of just awful events are about to trap her in the very first of many, many cages.
Just look at this timeline. It's absolutely brutal. It's a complete cascade of tragedy. First, her dad defends her from his sleazy, corrupt boss and loses his job over it. Then, and you're not going to believe this, that same 45-year-old boss forces Paki to marry him. She somehow survives the abuse and manages to get a divorce, but the sheer trauma of it all causes her father to have a fatal stroke. And right in the middle of all this unimaginable loss, completely alone and heartbroken, she gives birth to her daughter, Pori.
And if this one sentence from her first husband doesn't send a chill down your spine, I don't know what will. He tells her, "I beat my first wife. If you don't listen to me, I won't beat you." Wow, that's not a promise, right? That's a threat. A threat disguised as some kind of twisted choice. This was her first cage, and the bars were literally made of violence and fear.
So somehow she escapes that nightmare, but just when you think things might look up, her family comes to her with what they call a second chance, a new marriage, a new life. But this so-called offer of freedom, it comes with a completely impossible price tag.
What's really interesting here is the contrast between the two husbands. The first guy, total monster, no question. Openly abusive, controlling, just a clear-cut villain. But this new guy, Joubert, he's different. He's not violent, but he's carrying his own baggage. He's been scarred by his own bad divorce, and it's made him incredibly suspicious and watchful. So the threat here isn't getting beaten, it's living under the constant, crushing weight of his mistrust.
And the pressure on her to accept this marriage, it's just unbearable. Her own mother lays this devastating piece of emotional blackmail on her, basically threatening to die if Paki doesn't agree. Can you even imagine? That first cage was built by a monster for sure, but this one is being built piece by her own family.
Which of course brings us to the single most important question, the absolute heart of this whole conflict. What about her daughter, Pori? What happens to the one good, beautiful thing that came out of all that pain and suffering?
Well, here's the price. The price of her second chance is her daughter. It's that simple and that terrible. To build this new life, she has to completely erase the most important person in it. She has to leave Potpourri behind, and she has to pretend that she never, ever existed.
So Paki goes into this new marriage carrying this massive, soul-crushing secret. Her new life isn't real. It's a performance. Every single day is filled with fear. And her husband, who's already on edge because of his own past, he's watching her. He's watching her every move. Imagine living like that.
But, you can't just turn off a mother's love. It doesn't work that way. She starts making these secretive calls home just to check on Pori. And with every single call, her new husband's suspicion just grows and grows. The secret is getting so much harder to keep. You can just feel the tension building. The walls are closing in.
And then it happens. The moment she has been dreading every single second of every day. Her husband confronts her. But he's not yelling, he's not angry. He just quietly shows her a photo of her daughter, Pori. And he asks this one simple question that just shatters the entire world she's built. Do you know the girl?
And there it is, the ultimatum. He puts it to her, plain and simple. You have to choose. It's your new life with me, or it's your daughter. You can't have both. The secret is finally out, and she is standing at a crossroads with absolutely no easy way out.
And in that moment of pure truth, she doesn't even hesitate, not for a second. She chooses her child. With just 2 words, my daughter, she throws it all away. Her second chance, her security, her future, all of it, sacrificed for the one person in the world who truly matters.
Okay, so this is where the story takes a turn you will absolutely not see coming. We're all bracing for it, right? We're expecting anger, maybe violence, another tragedy. But what happens next, it's not about cruelty at all. It's about compassion.
His reaction is just astonishing. He looks at her and says, I lost to the love between a mother and her daughter. And instead of kicking her out, instead of ending the marriage, he tells her to bring Pori home, to their home. He doesn't just tolerate the idea of her daughter, he accepts her. He welcomes her, promising to be like the shade of a banyan tree over both of them, a protector.
And Pocky's reflection on this moment is so powerful. She says, I used to think there was no animal more ferocious than a man, but my perception was wrong. Think about that. After everything she has been through, all the cruelty she's suffered at the hands of men, this one single act of genuine kindness just completely shatters her worldview. It doesn't erase the scars, of course not, but for the very first time, it allows her to actually imagine a future that isn't defined by fear.
So we end up right back where we started, with that image of a cage. Pocky's life has been just one cage after another, right? Cages built by abuse, by family pressure, by deception. But now something has changed. Through this incredible, unexpected act of acceptance, the very nature of that cage has transformed. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Can a cage, one that was built for you by other people, ever truly become a home?